Here, this is funny, right? This happened to me at the airport yesterday. So, like, there's 6 lifts on the car park level. So I pressed the button in the middle, and I kept looking, and it said floor 7, floor 1, floor. And I was waiting for a lift, and the lift, I was up the other end, and then the lift went ding like that. So I didn't want to run because I was fat and hot, and I mean that in a weather way. So I trundled along to the lift at the end, and the doors were closing, and there was a little lad pressing the buttons and his family behind. And I squeezed in just as the doors like that. But I got in, but then they opened again. And like they were really worried, the parents and that. And they went, oh, like that. I said, no, it's fine. I said, I'm James Bond. I said, I can flip through any gap. And the little lad looks at me and looks at his parents. And he was obviously worried because they'd made a noise. And he said, if I'd have killed him, would I have gone to prison? Thank you for listening to Two Talking Arseholes. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only and may deal with adult topics and adult themes. Brownstown, we're with you when you fight. Brownstown, bark with the dogs tonight. Brownstown, Cleveland is right behind you. Hello! Welcome to Talking to Our Souls with me, Steve. I'm going to give you a little clap, Hen, and it's him.
I ain't going to the World Cup. It's the thing. I'm not going. If you're going to do it properly. If you want to make a stance, make a proper stance.
When was the last World Cup you went to?
I'm not talking about me.
No, but you said, do you know what? You know what? I'm not going to the World Cup this year because they don't like the gays. And then I'm just going to say, well, which World Cup did you go to, Av, when they did like the gays?
Even if I could go to the World Cup, I'd go forward. I wouldn't go.
We should be backing the girls anyway. They're the only ones who know how to win. Controversial. Yeah, it's going to be so expensive, isn't it?
It's not expensive, but it's the whole point that he went to Qatar for dodgy circumstances, right?
Yeah.
They moved it from summer to winter because after they got it, it's going to be too hot. It's going to be too hot. Oh, it'd be
too hot for the players from all around the world, isn't it? Rather than
the plan was we're having the summer. Our stadium's going to be cooled.
It could be cooled with bullshit.
Yeah, a few dodgy dealings. Oh, we're going to have to move it to winter. Oh, they're paying people £1 a day and taking their passports. People are dying. There's no health and safety.
The whole thing was dodgy. And I, everyone's going to say how wonderful it is, especially if England get to the semi-finals again. And if they've got One Love on their arm. There is a football game coming up next week or this week. Or it's just gone. And it's a second division team, I think. It might be another team. But they haven't had to, but they've asked for their game to be moved 2 hours forward to kick off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So they don't have to pay for the full floodlights. As it gets dark, they only have to pay because they can't afford the energy. Now, that's wrong, isn't it? On lots of levels, that's wrong.
That is a disgrace.
Was that before they announced the cap, or...?
Yeah, no, well, I heard it on the radio today, so they've asked to kick off at 1, and I suppose because the nights are getting darker.
Maybe they should move football to the Qataris.
Yeah. Is that all you're going to give me?
Yeah.
It's the energy, the fact that these, if football clubs can't afford to pay for their energy.
Well, it's you saying second division clubs. It's going to be the first division, second division clubs are going to struggle. You could say, well, why is the Premier League not sending more money down to the lower leagues? Yeah.
Trickle down economics is a grand thing. It's a grand gesture. We haven't even mentioned your mate. Only calling him your mate because he's quasi coat hanger. Oh no, that's not so cleverly.
God, Steve.
No! Oh man! No! It was just I pressed. I can't see what I'm pressing. I thought I put him at the top. Oh fucking hell! Oh man, that's Laurence Fishburne. For those of you who can't. Oh, no, dear. But I was just the first one I pressed because I thought I put them in order. I haven't. But we only talk about not so cleverly as a backup, Do you know, Kaiser coat hanger was with Liz Truss. They were on a walk in the Yorkshire Dales, and they was walking along this path, and a tree had fallen over in front of the path, and coat hanger started to push it and push it and push it and push it, and it wouldn't move, and he was pushing it and he pushed it, and he says, "It's no good, I can't budge it." And Liz Truss says, "You got the job."
Didn't get it, Steve. Sorry.
He was trying to push the tree out the way.
Yeah, he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do it, and he says, "It's no good, I can't budge it." And she said, "You've got the job."
Oh, I wish I didn't get it.
That is a disgrace.
Then she met James Cleverly. Oxymoron. Are we talking about the budget?
Because
it's not meant to be a budget, is it? Because like he didn't put it forward as a budget, so he's put it down as some sort of like.
No, because I think it feels that I might be wrong. They've done something, so normally the Chancellor would have to... It's a
statement, isn't it?
Normally the Chancellor would have to put this together, and it would have to be...
Scrutinised by the...
Yeah, scrutinised.
By the budget people.
Yeah, because he's doing it this way, they don't have to scrutinise it. He doesn't have to say, well, you know something, we're going to borrow all this money, and the poor bastards are going to have to pay for it. Where the rich guys, my mates, were laughing all the way to the bank.
Well, he was a banker, though, wasn't he?
Fucking wanker.
You made me think there that because he didn't have it officially budgeted, and he wanted to know whether or not it was a good idea for the country, and the pound's gone down to £1 against the dollar. So that's told us that it's all going very well. When, right, we've had 4 prime ministers in the last 12, 13 years. There was a guy called Cameron. He was the first of 4 prime ministers. You could just before the bankers crash, get almost $2 to the pound, and now you can get £2 to a dollar. So I think it's going to work well. I think this budget. I think a lot of people are saying, why poo-poo it?
The only logic I can put to it is because they're saying technically we're in a recession, right?
Yes. Oh, that's what the bank said, didn't it, the other day?
Yeah, just slightly 2 quarters of growth, which have gone negative. And the only way I can think of it is that they've done that because if they don't do it, people won't spend money. If they don't spend money, then you'll have another negative quarter of growth, and they'll be able to put panicking. I think that's why they're putting this a little bit of money so people can spend a little bit. The treacle economics. Down. I'm not a big fan of treacle.
I was going to correct you and say it's not treacle, it's trickle. So this trickle down economics, you're not a big fan?
I don't like this trickle down economics.
You don't know when to stop when you're onto a good thing, do you? It's like 700,000 people are getting a tax relief from this budget. That's what's going to trickle down.
I don't understand why they want to trickle down economics for.
I don't think it's a triple down. It'll be a dribble down. Dribble down the front of their shirts.
That is a disgrace.
But you were saying, right, that people, they don't want to call it a recession because they want people to spend money, right? If they're spending over half the money that they earn on rent or mortgages, and now probably a quarter on food, the whole of their wages on utilities, they haven't got any money to spend.
Well, they want the rich people to spend their money, isn't it? That's what they're
700,000 people are going to spend their money.
They're saying people who make over $1 million a year, they'll get extra 50k left over. They can buy Rolexes, fancy champagne and cocaine.
Cocaine.
Conservatives.
Calm down.
Well, they can go to the World Cup in Qatar.
Yes, they could. They will go, but they won't have to pay to go. It'll be a jolly for them. A guy from a pizza shop rang up the radio, and he says the trouble is with this idea of richer people buying more stuff is, he says, the people that usually buy my pizzas, right, 100 of them come in every week and spend 20 quid. He says they won't be able to do. They can't do that anymore. So those 100 have gone. One person who comes in who's like earning all this money, he's not going to buy 100 pizzas. He's not going to buy any more pizzas. He's going to buy his normal amount of pizzas. If he's lucky, he might, get some fries or something.
He's not going to buy pizza, Steve. He's going to go to a nice, fancy restaurant.
Yeah, the Ivy.
Like Wetherspoons.
I was in Wetherspoons, right? Because my mate wanted a proper drink before we went to the restaurant. And I've got the Wetherspoons app on my phone. So I said, I'll get you a drink, mate, don't worry about it. And I went, fucking hell, that's expensive. £2.75p for a half. £2.75p for a pint.
That is a disgrace.
Pint of what?
Piss water. Carling. But he had a Corona, and I think that was £3.20.
I'm so happy that I don't drink and smoke.
I get that. I was going to say that canned lager, though, is not the same as having it pulled for you.
Got lucky, didn't you? You pulled that Wetherspoons. But I've seen some of the people in there, so...
But if you don't drink, you could have nuts. You could have Putin's peanut.
Yeah, once I did have a breakfast then. I thought it was all right, but that was going back a few years ago.
I think most breakfasts in most places, I would say, are great. I love my breakfasts if somebody's cooking me a breakfast, I think it's great. Some go above and beyond and are just brilliant. But even the worst breakfasts are nice.
Where I used to work a while ago, they had their own cafe and they used to deep fat fry the sausages.
And they're pink inside.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lady's vagina.
That is a disgrace.
I think you better take that one out, Steve.
I'm a bad man. So, yeah. Now, where did you get these pink sausages from?
I used to work at a place. It was a cafe.
Ooh.
Right. We said, do you have young learners? And they have a cafe to get experience. Yeah. And they had a guy, and he used to make curry. And it was just one day I saw he had a jar of pataks. Come on. You can make it fresh.
Grill your cumin. Grill your coriander.
Do you know, around the corner there was a place, and they used to do thick bacon, and you could have it asked for it to be barbecued. It was amazing.
I'm gonna delve into casual racism just for the benefit of my ignorance, right? Do you think, is it possible that people have dodgy curries, or they just they can't eat them properly?
It's a bit of both. It must be a bit of both. There are dodgy any food establishment. There are dodgy food establishments, aren't there? No matter what.
But I do feel people used to say that a lot. They say they had a dodgy curry, and I think that's unfair because I think some people are stupid and they go, "Give me the hottest thing you got. Give me the hot. I'm going to show you how tough I am. Give me the hottest thing." And then obviously they're going to be bad. I used to enjoy my rings of fire.
I think with that, and also obviously people can't take the heat. They think they're going in. They've had
go to the kitchen.
Going to suit them.
But I just wondered, because I know people used to say if you go to India you're going to get food poisoning.
I had food poisoning in India.
Okay, so I am a racist. I can't get out of that, can I now?
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is in India you've got to pick the right establishments, because I think in India you don't have the same laws of the UK. They're quite strict when it comes to food hygiene, isn't it? And
well, that's why we got out of the EU, so we can now sniff our food.
There's lots of great food in India.
I bet, because I've had some really nice Bangladeshi food.
There's lots of good food, but just got to go to the right place. Same, yeah, just got to go to the right place, haven't you?
But Marks and Spencer's now are asking us to sniff our food rather than sell by dates or use by dates.
Well, I had a yogurt the other day. It's 2 days over. It was fine.
Oh, is that right? We should have a competition. Well, I think I've had a yogurt 7 days after it's whatever.
It was a plain yogurt, but when I ate it, it was a bit chunky. But,
so there wasn't the strawberries in it. Shall we move on, Av? Do the mermaid, or do you want to stop? I know you asked me earlier if I'd seen The Little Mermaid.
That's right. Yes,
the new one.
You've seen the original, haven't you?
Yeah, my children grew up at a different time, so I didn't know whether I saw it. I think Shrek was probably the last film I saw with my children. I'm not sure if Little Mermaid was after Shrek.
I think with Disney, I think they're making it's weird because Disney makes an effort to be all inclusive, aren't they? You know, with, some people think they're going too far. I mean, considering they started off being Nazis, they've come a long way, I think. But,
did you say Nazis?
Apparently, Walt Disney was a Nazi.
Were you going to do the joke or not?
Yeah. So.
Oh, sorry. It was the Nazis that threw me. Sorry. Yeah. So I didn't realise Walt Disney was known as a Nazi. But I suppose when you look at Mickey Mouse,
there's rumours. Okay. There's rumours. What I was saying is like some people now, I think they've gone too far the other way, too far woke, and they're saying, you know, having a black Ariel. I think to myself, come on. It's not that much of a bigger deal, is it? You got, you know, developed the characters for a new audience. You know, but some people are not happy that she's black. I was thinking to myself, well, why not have? Okay, maybe it's a bit of a compromise for them, but have someone who's probably mixed race then, you know, of colour. But I was still thinking, well, with Ariel, you can't mix your white and your colours.
I just need to add an apology for people who may use other soap detergents. Should we have a quick look at this?
Yeah, let's have a look at it then.
That's the real her.
She's black! Mama, she's black!
I think she's brown. Brown Ariel. Brown Ariel is cute.
Now,
it's a bit smolchy though, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know, the young girl going, she's black. She's black. I'm sure there's plenty of racists saying the same thing. She's black. She's black. But I like the way you got Al Jazeera the clip from.
Sorry,
You kept it ethnic. Good on you, Steve.
See, I was a bit annoyed about the Annie thing, but that's because I always think that Annie had red hair, but that's all. But I think this works perfect. This does, because she's a mermaid.
I just want to find out, was her dad black or white? The king?
Is she a real princess? Because she's the daughter of a king and queen.
Yeah. But I don't think her mum was.
Or was her mum a pauper? Was her mum like a shellfish person? She didn't go out.
Yeah.
Were we talking about this a few weeks ago that it's difficult in TV and stuff? But like the Game of Thrones thing is working beautifully for me. I was a bit worried about it at first, but
I think
the acting is so good. I don't care. I don't even notice it when the acting's good.
Anything that's fantasy is not a problem because it's you know, anyone can play any role because it's fantasy. It doesn't matter, does it?
No.
When it comes to old films and programs that are based upon real people and real events, and there weren't any ethnic minorities, then it gets a bit controversial for some people. Can you imagine? Right, what was that film that just recently they did of Winston Churchill?
Winston?
Who played him? Remember, he's Gary Oldman. Okay, to go back to it. Okay. So there was that, you know, the film Gary Oldman. We played.
Winston Churchill.
Winston Churchill. Can you imagine that if they had a black guy come in and play Winston? That would have been amazing, wouldn't it?
It'd be a different Winston.
No, but I say. But can you imagine if a black person came and play Winston Churchill? People go. Some people would go crazy, wouldn't they?
But yes, they would. But wouldn't it be worse if a woman played Winston?
That is a disgrace.
If it was an Indian woman PP.
Now, to be fair, it's just, I don't know, it's still worth £1. Because that's right, because this is in context. I think because she hasn't got a job, she could play. She could be but we wanted to be a stand-up comedian as well. But I reckon she'd be good as Winston Churchill, the remake.
She could play Ariel, the Asian Ariel. She could be right. This could change the whole premise of the film, right? She could be the Asian Ariel who swims in the channel, pushing dinghies back over to France.
Pulling them down and drown them. Drown!
I wish you would die.
I don't really know the story. I was going to say, I feel that PP would be going against type. Because I think from just that clip, the mermaid looks lovely and kind and caring, whereas the totally opposite would apply to PP. Yeah. Hey. God bless her. Well, Av, do you think we've finished?
Yeah. Do
you want to say goodbye? We could sum up by doing this. Well, that was a bit of a slog, but we got there in the end, Av. I'm very, very impressed with the respect we showed to...
PP.
All right, thanks, Av. See you next week.
Cleveland is right behind you.
Hey, thanks for listening to the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe and share this because it will help us. And don't forget to tune in next week, 8 p.m. Mondays. Ta-ra! So...